All right, good afternoon, everyone. This is Mrs. Martin, and I miss you all so much. I hope that you're safe and you're in your homes and you're continuing your education from inside and indoors. I'm trying to stay away from everything that's going on outside. This video is to support you in getting signed into ALEKS, which is a math software, and so that you can complete your initial knowledge check. So this video is going out to my Algebra 1 classes and my pre-calculus class. In case you missed Zoom today, you can always just follow along with this video and watch it as many times as you need. If you have any questions besides what I answer in this video, feel free to message me on Schoology and Remind like you always do. So let's go and get started. For right now, I'm going to go ahead and log in with period 6. Okay. Period 6 is my Algebra 1 course, but all the courses are pretty much set up the same. Over on the left side, if I scroll all the way down, and there are a few other apps that are on there that are strictly for teachers, so you probably won't see them, but what you should see is the app all the way at the bottom that says McGraw-Hill K through 12 SSO. It's got a little red box right next to it, and it's going to pop open a window. So a few things here. You won't see this page. You'll see this page. So a couple of things. If you have a pop-up blocker on, it is possible that the pop-up blocker will not allow this window to open. So you might have to disable that just when you're working with ALEKS. The other thing is a few of my students this morning had trouble finding these launch buttons because they did not have Northridge Academy up here at the top of the screen. So if your screen does not say Northridge Academy at the top, and it says something like Holmes or Nobel or Hamilton, you can just click on that and it'll drop down a menu and you'll see Northridge Academy there. Okay. Now, just to kind of give a little overview as to why I'm signing you up in ALEKS, normally I would not start a new technology while you guys are home. It would have been way better to do in person, but ALEKS is a paid program, and we recently got access to this paid program. And so since we have access to it, it would really be a shame to waste that access that has been given to us during this difficult time. So I'm going to go ahead and get you guys signed into there and working with ALEKS. It's a little bit like Khan Academy, so I will be using it to assign homeworks, assign quizzes, things like that. But it's a little more personalized, and I personally think that you're going to prefer this one because of the way it's set up. So, depending on your class, you'll see your class title. I have Algebra 1 Period 3, Algebra 2 Period 6, and Pre-Calculus. So as mentioned, I'm going to go ahead and run with Period 6. Okay. Now, this next screen you guys don't usually see. This is my teacher homepage. Right now it's got some percentage on there because some people have worked with ALEKS in the math program over the summer that you guys, the math camp that you guys do during the summer. So if you have tried ALEKS either at your middle school or in math camp, it is possible you already have some of your ALEKS pie filled in. That's this pie chart here in the middle. But if not, that's okay. Either way, we're starting today. So let me go ahead and go into my student view. Okay, and I have YouTube up because that's where this is posted. And so it's going to start out with a tutorial. Okay, and so just to kind of read along with this tutorial and you guys, ALEKS is a personalized way to learn at your own pace. ALEKS figures out the topics you already know and then helps you take the right path to success. So to kind of elaborate, today's assignment is for you to do your initial knowledge check. Okay, and what the initial knowledge check is it's basically a pre-test. And that pre-test is going to inform you and myself about what things you're good at, what things you're okay at, but you could still use a little practice, and what things you have not learned yet and you can still practice in order to master. So the whole goal is that you continue to increase on what you already know starting today. Okay, so a couple of questions came up from students this morning in the Zoom. One of those questions was, how am I going to grade ALEKS? Am I grading based off of how many you get right, so on and so forth? So for this initial knowledge check that you're doing today, I am not grading it as far as how much you get correct. Okay, so I'm not taking a percent. This is not count as an assessment. It is just a classwork activity that's going to help us determine where you are strong with your math material and where you still need support with your math material. We'll get a little bit more into how I'm going to use the ALEKS program for homework in a later video on Tuesday, but for today, all I want you to focus on is working on the knowledge check. So let's get to that. So it's going to start off with a little information about the ALEKS interface. So everything that pops up on your screen. You've got a menu in the top left corner, and you've got notifications over on the top right. You really only get notifications maybe from ALEKS letting you know how you're progressing, but I don't send messages through ALEKS. Everything is still through Schoology and Remind. And then finally, this left bar, this left sidebar is very, very important. This left sidebar is where all of your assignments are going to pop up. And for right now, the only thing you've got is a tools tutorial. So let's go ahead and do that together. It's very straightforward the way the tools tutorial is set up. It explains explicitly how you're supposed to do each step. So I'm going to start there, and I'm going to type 14 as they suggested. And now they just want to make sure you understand how the button works. So the X button here, it's going to clear whatever was in your box so you don't have to sit there and delete everything individually. If you didn't mean to delete that, this back arrow is your undo button. And then we're going to go ahead and click next to see where we go from there. If I'm going too fast, feel free to pause, feel free to go back. That's the beauty of YouTube videos. So in this next one, they want to make sure you understand how to use fractions. Now notice at the bottom of this little orange bubble, it says you can also press the backslash key or the forward slash. Sorry, I forget which one's which. I think this one's forward slash. So that slash key will also allow you to do fractions, but sometimes people like to click the button instead so they can actually see the fraction, the numerator and the denominator. It helps us type everything in, especially if we're typing in expressions. For now, ALEKS just wants us to type a 2 in the numerator and 3 in the denominator, and we are ready to move on. This last one is a little trickier. They want us to type in an expression now. Okay, and then they want us to go ahead and put in an exponent. Now I have two options for that. I can click the exponent button, that's there highlighted with the orange speech bubble, or I can try and use that little up arrow key that you get when you hold shift in one of the numbers. I don't really have that on my on-screen keyboard, so I'm just going to go ahead and click their exponent button, and they want a 2 in the exponent. Now if I keep typing, I'm going to keep typing things into the exponent, which is that little number up above the parentheses. So to get out of there, I need to click somewhere outside of the exponent so I can continue typing +7. Okay. Now, what ALEKS wants you to do next is, it took me a few tries, but they want you to highlight this entire expression so that we can turn it into the numerator. So I'm going to highlight this entire expression if it lets me. Oh, I might have to open up my keyboard. So I'm going to highlight this entire expression, and I'm going to put that whole thing up in the numerator. That way I can type in 3 in the denominator, and I've got myself a real complicated looking expression using a fraction. Okay, and once we hit next, we're going to go ahead and draw lines. This is very, very important for all my classes, whether you're in algebra or pre-calculus or TCMS. These lines follow you throughout all of your math life. So please be very careful as you graph. It's very straightforward how to do so. I just tapped on the blue buttons, follow the tutorial, and I'm done. So ALEKS is done with my tutorial, my tools tutorial. Now I have a basic knowledge of how to interact with the ALEKS interface. It takes some getting used to, but I'm confident that you all will be able to manage this ALEKS program. And now if you notice down at the bottom, it says I've unlocked our initial knowledge check, which is your assignment for today. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and start mine, just as an example with you. It gives us a little bit of information before we start our knowledge check. First, it suggests that you stay focused and don't get distracted. Okay, this is true of any math homework or any homework in general that you should be working on. If you don't have a quiet space to work on things, you might want to try and find one. Whether that's in your room or in an office, in your backyard, wherever you can find some quiet space to work. Try and silence things like cell phones so you're not distracted by text messages or notifications, extra tabs open that you might be distracted by YouTube, anything like that. Try to exit those so you can focus on your math. Okay? A few things about this. ALEKS is a wonderful program that actually permits you to walk away from your work. So what I mean when I say that is, if something happens, your Wi-Fi goes down, the window force quits, you get tired and you want to do some other homework or something else is due that night and the knowledge check is taking too long, your cat comes and walks on your keyboard and exits all your windows, anything that might happen. If ALEKS were to quit, when you sign back in, you get placed exactly where you left off. The same problem, your homework won't start over, your quiz won't start over, this knowledge check won't start over. It'll take you right back to where you left off, which is really nice because that means, and I highly suggest this, that in the middle of your knowledge check, if you've just been working for a really long time and you're tired and you just need that break, take the break. Okay, exit the window, do some other homework, do something relaxing, go have a snack, go walk around. This is not meant for you to sit down and spend 3 hours on. Okay, that's not my intention at all. You have until Tuesday to complete it. That's Tuesday, March 24th. So since you have Tuesday to complete it, you technically have all weekend. Please don't procrastinate. Sometimes ALEKS does maintenance, and so you won't be able to access it on the day that things are due. But definitely take your time over this weekend to try and get your assignment completed, to get this initial knowledge check done. And again, try not to power through an entire sitting. Take breaks, okay? It's totally fine, and it takes you right back to where you left off. A couple other things for us to focus on as we go through this little initial knowledge check intro. Have paper and pencil. For some strange reason, A lot of my students, when starting out with ALEKS, they think it's all mental math because it's on the computer, but that is definitely not the case. It is my intention that you have paper, you have something to write with, you're showing your work, especially in those instances when you're in the learning mode doing your homework and you don't understand where you're going wrong. That work can be very helpful for us to discuss and see if you're missing a negative perhaps, or you're using the wrong property. Maybe it's something as simple as you just typing it into ALEKS wrong, because ALEKS is a little picky about how things are written in. So please show your work on paper and pencil. A lot of people like to keep a notebook where they do all of their ALEKS work and they put the date and they keep track of when they get their things done. So please go ahead and get paper and something to write with. Okay? The other thing that's very, very important is do not get help from others. I know that you're at home and I'm here in my home and I can't monitor this with you, but I trust that you are going to do this on your own. And here's the main reason. This knowledge check is for you and me. For you and me to understand what you know and what you still need help with. So if you have mom or dad helping you with ALEKS, then I know what mom and dad knows, but I still don't know what you understand. So please work on this on your own. Again, I'm not grading you if your percent ends up being low when you're finished. You're not losing points for that. I just want to see where you are right now. So do the work on your own. No help from brothers, sisters, parents, guardians, no tutors, no apps, no Desmos, nothing like that. Try to do them on your own. If you're not sure, try your best. It's important for us to know the areas where you are still struggling and where I can still help you master the topics. Okay? Okay, so as mentioned before, take your time and just try your best. That's really all I can ask you to do. So let's go ahead and get started. Notice that ALEKS does provide a calculator. It is preferable if you use the ALEKS calculator, but again, I'm not monitoring, so if you have a calculator at home and you would prefer to use that, feel free. If not, as you can see, ALEKS offers a calculator. Now, if you look at the bottom of your screen, there is an option to click I don't know. Please only click I don't know if you're really not sure about the problem. Because if you're not sure, you can click I don't know to skip it, but it will give you a 0 in that topic. Whereas if you try, it's possible you'll get partial credit and you'll only have to learn part of that topic. So if you're really not sure, there's no shame in clicking I don't know. But if it's something you're a little familiar with and you might be able to make an educated guess, go ahead and do that. Okay, so I'm going to start my knowledge check. And here's my first question. I'm going to slide this. All right, so I've got my paper and pen ready. I had to slide some things over, so my video kind of cut out a little bit. But I've got my paper and pencil ready. Now I'm prepared to write 3/25, 3/25, as a decimal. Just a heads up, you probably do not see this question as your first question of your initial knowledge check. As a matter of fact, it's very rare that we'll all have the same question on our initial knowledge check. So everybody has their own personal curriculum. That's what I love about ALEKS so much. Okay, so I'm lucky. I have a skip knowledge check button because I'm the teacher. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. And I'm going to say I've got moderate knowledge of Algebra 1. This is my pretend student here, my pretend student Angelica. And when I'm done with my test, I'm going to get this really colorful pie that is available to show what I know. And I can click on those slices, and I do encourage you to click on a few slices of this pie chart and see what things you did well on and what things we need to work on. It is completely natural to have blocks that are empty. Okay, polynomials and factoring, we haven't gotten to that yet. And if you're taking Algebra 1 right now, then you haven't gotten to this unit. This is our very, very last unit if we have time, because polynomials and factoring is a big part of Algebra 2. But it's there, and we haven't mastered any, and that makes sense because we haven't done them yet. Of course, this is for my Algebra 1 class. Pre-calculus, you'll have a different set of topics. Okay, I did do well with arithmetic. I did a pretty good job with real numbers. Not too bad with linear equations. But I need work with functions and lines. And again, that makes sense. That's what we're working on right now in Algebra 1. So take a minute, click on all your slices, see what you got, see what you still need to work on. Again, this percent that you get is not your grade. I'm only giving you points for completion this time. Okay, so that's pretty much it. Once you're done, you can hit continue, and it'll take us back to our home page, and it'll give you a little bit more information about your home page, and you can stop here. There is a button that says Start My Path. I'm going to talk more about that left sidebar on Tuesday when I meet with you again via this YouTube video stuff. So I hope that I answered all your questions. Just as a quick recap, when you start your knowledge check, please make sure that you're doing all of the work on your own. I encourage you to use paper and pencil to show your work. Try to find a space for yourself where you won't be distracted, and please feel free to take breaks, finish another day. It does not have to be done all in one sitting. Okay? It is really my intention that ALEKS becomes a better place for us to continue our learning. It's still going to line up with our curriculum. Nothing like that is changing. It's just a new technology that I think is a little bit better as far as tracking our work. If you have any questions, please feel free to message me at any time, and I will try and get back to you as quickly as possible. During school hours, I usually try to message you right away. After school hours, I get back to you within a couple of hours. So, again, I hope you're all doing well. I look forward to seeing you guys on Zoom. If you haven't met with us on Zoom yet, please do so. It's fun, and it's nice to hear you guys and see you guys and chat with you, even if it's just to say hello. And I will see you Tuesday. Do your best work. Bye.